Hello, everybody. Do you need a pick-me-up or just want something tasty to begin or end your day? With? Their sound was bad when we first started, and again, I pointed the wrong way, so now I'm all flustered. This is Outside the Box, the podcast devoted to supporting Central PA small business. I am your host, Derek Bixler, realtor and digital marketer right here in Central PA. I grew up on the Hill, went to Mechanicsburg High School, went to Penn College of Technology up in Williamsport, and have been here ever since. Had a few sales jobs before I started selling real estate 15 years ago. If you need to buy or sell a house, please reach out to me. We're in dire need of houses for sale. Prices are sky high. You can text me, email me, throw a rock through my window, send a carrier pigeon, whatever you need to do. We really need houses in inventory. Subscribe to our email list at supportcentralpa.com to get networking mixer invites, all our exclusive special offers, of which you will have one from, I'm going to point the right way this time, One Good Woman over here. You see it. We're going to have something for you at the end, and you get all the episode announcements and all that stuff, and it's not spammy. It's me drafting those things, and sometimes it's a day or two late because I don't get around to it, but I do always get around to it. Follow me on Clubhouse. I'm at Agent Derek if you're on Clubhouse, and we do a room there every Thursday, 1 to 2 after the Thursday episode called Central PA Small Business Connect, where you can actually talk to other businesses. I won't geek out and tell all you guys what Clubhouse is, but it's a great way to connect and network with other people, and we're there. If you need an invite to get on Clubhouse, talk to me. I have a few sitting around, and a reminder to ask questions in the comments, or if you are watching and know Michelle or Mechelle, please comment and say hello in the comments. And if we don't see your comments or your questions while we're doing the show, we will come back later and answer them and comment back. And a reminder that replays are on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all the places, and on iTunes and all the podcast players soon to be there as soon as I set all that up. So with that said, we will go into it with One Good Woman. A lot of people know, especially people on the West Shore, know One Good Woman. I love One Good Woman. I had some One Good Woman coffee this morning, actually. So we will start and go in. I will shut up, and I'm going to make you guys big since there are two of you and bring you in a big screen here. We'll start left to right. So I'm actually going to bring up Mechelle and tell us about yourself personally, Mechelle, before we get into the business.
I grew up in Elizabethville. Moved down.
Maybe move to the middle of the screen. Maybe the mic wants you there, possibly.
Can you hear me now? Okay. I grew up in Elizabethville, small town, and moved to Middletown about 20 years ago. I worked in sales, orthopedic sales, which I still do. And that is actually how Michelle and I met. We were partners in that business for dinner for years together. I do water sports and like the beach, things like that. And I love coffee. That's why I'm here.
What kind of water sports? Like water skiing or surfing or what?
Water skiing, jet skiing, boating, those kind of things.
What's your favorite place to do it? Do you do it on like the river or at the beach or what?
I used to do it at the river a lot. Now the lake in Virginia, I have a friend who has a place down at the lake, so I spend time there in the summer.
Awesome. Yeah, I've done wakeboarding before. That's super fun. Somebody just showed me, what is that? Hydroplane? Is that what it is?
So cool.
Yeah, and you don't even need a tow rope or anything. He's just gliding 3 feet off the water on this little, it was crazy. I would love to try that. That looked super awesome. So what did your favorite food, I think in your questionnaire said it was chili cheese fries, cheddar cheese fries, bacon
fries, or any fries really.
Okay. So did you just like bar food in general or that specifically?
Pretty much just French fries.
So it's a French fry thing. Are there other toppings that you like on French fries?
Yeah. Bacon, cheese, ranch dressing. Whatever.
Awesome. They should have I guess they do, boardwalk fries, but they don't really have different toppings or like different loaded fries you can get. That would be good.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys could do that there.
Yeah. We were just talking about that earlier.
Oh, really? More food? All right. Well, we'll talk about that when we talk about the place. So, Mechelle, and I'll switch here, and maybe you can move to the center and speak super loudly,
yes,
so we can all hear you. Tell us where you grew up, and tell us about your background a little bit.
Yes. So I grew up in Pine Grove, Pennsylvania, up in Schuylkill County, and went to school. I went to Lock Haven, Penn State for one of my masters, and then I went to RIT and got my MBA. And I did that because my partner and I here were thinking about buying a business. So I thought I have a lot of science. I'm a scientist by nature, but I didn't know a whole lot about business. So that's why I pursued the MBA. So I've been in the Hershey area. I live in Hummelstown. So live there with my husband Bruce, and we have a little boy, Brody. He's in first grade, 7-year-old. So we've been there for 16 or 17 years, something like that. So we've been in the area for a long time. And like Mechelle said, she and I work together. So we were partners and teammates for a long time. And then when this opportunity came up, like she said, we both love coffee, and we loved this place when the previous owner had it. We loved it so much, and they were retiring. So that's when we took the opportunity to purchase this place. So we're going into our 5th year, and One Good Woman, this is One Good Woman's 25th anniversary year. So kind of cool.
So you went back to college to get your MBA just
Yep.
to open a business, but you didn't
Yep.
know what kind of business you guys were going to get into, but you
Right.
knew you were going to get into it together.
Right. Yep.
Did you look at other businesses before you landed on One Good Woman?
No, this was kind of the start of our search, and luckily it worked out really well. And we didn't know, the place wasn't listed by name when we came across the listing. It was just a description. And like I said, she and I were customers here and loved it so much that when we saw the description, we were like, oh my gosh, it has to be One Good Woman. So we found out a little bit more information and then met with Joe and Holly, the previous owners, and the rest is history.
Can you tell us, and you, Mechelle, you can jump back in here if you want to, just both speak really loudly to the middle of the computer.
Yeah, we're in the store, so we apologize if the
No, it's all
sound is a
good.
little off.
You're pretty good now. Just,
We have
yeah.
to be close. We'll just be close.
So tell us a little bit, Mechelle. I'll tell you off to the side, we don't hear anything. We hear Mechelle, so you kind of have to speak towards the middle, I
Okay.
guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just that side of the computer that doesn't pick anything up. I'm not sure. But anyway, I think we're good. What was I going to say? Oh, tell us about your experience with One Good Woman. You said you knew it before you bought it. So tell us about your experience with it before you knew it was for sale or knew you would be buying it as a patron.
So again, like I said, I love coffee. And that was one of the first things, like a coworker that I worked with at the hospital had initially told me about One Good Woman and about their amazing coffee. So it was kind of off the beaten path. Our old location was on the back side of where we are right now. That building was torn down, and this building we've been in for about a year now, a little over a year and a half. Yeah, 2 years will be this summer. So it was kind of hard to find, and I wasn't really aware of it. So I started drinking the coffee, fell in love, and then discovered like that it does so many other things, like all the gifts and things like that, that other little trinkets and jewelries and teas. And so there was so much to explore at One Good Woman. We got all caught up in it.
But they didn't have made for you coffee back then, right? They just had, you would buy by the bean, or how did it work?
That's correct. It was just we still do sell the beans that's the front of our business, but we wanted to put a cafe, and they didn't really have room. The space down there was limited, and I don't think it was their vision either. But Mechelle and I, from the very beginning, thought that, it was something that we wanted to do. So this moving into the new space allowed us to open a cafe at that point in time.
Yeah, and the new space is awesome, and we're going to take a look at it actually after we talk a little bit. So was the new space already in the works when you took it over, or was that part of them having to move? Was like, all right, we'll sell this business, or why were they selling it? And if you can't say exactly, that's fine too, but just move to the center and talk loud.
Right. It was a surprise. It was a complete surprise for us. So the building was old, but the building ownership changed. And when Smithland bought the building, They basically said it's going to cost more to renovate this old building than it will be just to redo it. Plus, they had a vision too, the whole block. I mean, if anybody's familiar with Neighbors and Smith, Smithland just had a vision for redoing this whole block. So the boutique shops here are incredible, and we had no idea. We were only a year and a half into it when we were notified that the building's coming down, and we're going to have to move. We're going to have to, either stay on the same block and be part of this new vision, or we would have to find a different location. And this place has been in this community for so long that it just made sense to just stay here. We have a whole lot of loyal, longtime customers here, so it just totally made sense to stay here.
Yeah, you get to move, really, because it
Yeah.
was probably needed. It was kind of tucked back
Yeah.
there, and people that didn't already know about it or didn't hear from their friend that they had the best coffee might not stumble upon it. So I think it's
Right.
awesome, and you kind of got the best real estate in that building, right? You're in
Yeah.
the corner, the bottom.
We think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
we
a
think
Tesla
so.
or a
Yeah.
electric car charger
Yes.
right out front.
Yep, you can charge right outside, charge your car, come in and, look around, enjoy the smells, and have some coffee or tea. It's great.
So is there anything other than, you said with the new space you were able to add, we'll walk around in a little bit, you were able to add a cafe and kind of done for you coffee made and things like that. Was there any other things? You have another space for workshops or trainings, or you were telling me about some other space you have
No, we
extra
have
maybe or something.
a storeroom. We have our storeroom in the back. So our old space had like a small warehouse, but it was it wasn't connected. So it's just it's laid out perfectly. We got to choose our layout. So, we drew it up the way that we wanted it and the way that it made the most sense. So, but our space is so big now that we've had actually some little workshops and things like that in here already. We've hosted events. We've just hosted a realtor event. They had a client appreciation event here. So we have so much space now that we can do things like that, and we've never been able to before.
Yeah, it's way bigger. It's
Yeah.
For people that haven't been there yet, that were at the old store. When you walk into this one, it's like this giant new awesome store. Everything's nice and spread out, especially during these times. It's good for this nice
Right.
big space for people
Yeah.
to be spread out. And it's awesome, and it allows you to offer some things you weren't offering before, and more storage, obviously.
Right.
And you just did, that's a good thing to talk about. You just redid your website. That just pretty much
Yes.
dropped, which allows you to now sell easier online, correct? So people can then, and we'll show the website later, but people can buy online now. So you're going to need more storage to supply that. So tell us a little bit about the website, maybe.
So we actually just launched it yesterday. So it's not 100% complete, but definitely an improvement. We're hoping to add eventually like coffee subscriptions, coffee of the month, and things like that aren't currently on it. But it does have a full range of our coffees and teas now. And it has curbside pickup options as well as shipping options. So you can do both, because some people are doing a lot of curbside. That gives a way for you to order ahead. And you can also do that by calling in. But now you can do it on the website.
Move towards the middle.
We're looking forward to adding more things on as we go, but at least now there's a full spectrum of our coffee, tea, and some gifts on there, and also our branded merchandise and our new shirts. We just came out with some new shirts for our 25th anniversary. So we're actually
Towards the middle.
Oh, sorry. So we also have One Good Man, One Good Kid products. So I think more people are starting to realize that it's more than products just for women. So keeping that in mind with our 25th anniversary shirt, we have a unisex shirt. So it doesn't scream One Good Woman. It has the TW logo on it. So, my husband who works here he gave it 2 thumbs up. He's like, oh yeah, I can wear that. It's good. So we have those for sale now in the store, and they're also on our website too.
More like One Good Person.
Yes.
Totally. I like it. And the brown is goes either way and it keeps
Yeah,
in with the coffee theme and everything. Yeah, that's
right.
awesome. So you have a lots more stuff coming. You said subscriptions, so people could basically sign up for whatever kind of coffee they want and get it monthly, or how would that work?
That takes oops. That's what we're planning on doing. That isn't working yet. But the guy who's building our website is currently like trying to get that together. We just wanted to get it up and running and do some testing on it. But these are things we're planning on adding where you would be able to say, I want my coffee like every 2 weeks or every month or however much and however many coffees you want mailed to you. And we could do that, as well as maybe a coffee of the month and a tea of the month, where we would select something every month and you would just automatically get that mail, which I think would also make a nice gift for someone too, for a coffee
Yeah.
lover or a tea lover, a great gift option for them as well.
Yeah, and I wanted to, even though it's not up and running yet, I wanted to highlight it because a lot of times people think to get something like that, they have to go to some big national company that could be who knows where and get, coffee box of the month. But soon they'll be able to do that locally here, and you can still sell nationally, but we here can get it right here from Central PA. So I think that's great. And people can still come into the store, obviously, and get whatever they want. So you have tons of teas and coffees in there. Can you walk people through what, if someone comes in and says, I want to start drinking tea, do you have somebody there that can help them blend a tea or figure out what tea would be right for them?
Yes. Our employees are very knowledgeable about all of our products. So whenever a customer comes in, which happens a lot in this new location because people have never heard of us before, so they walk in and they're like, wow, what is this place? So say we have a customer who comes in and knows nothing about tea, but they want to just give it a whirl. So we'll show you when we do our tour, but our wall of tea. So we have over 150 loose leaf teas right now. And then we also have bagged teas as well. But the draw here is the loose leaf teas, as well as all the gadgets that you need to make it. So all of our teas on the tea wall are divided by category. So black tea, flavored black, green, oolong, white, herbal. So we basically just take our time with a customer and say, what are you looking for? Do you want caffeine or no caffeine? Do you like strong black teas? Would you rather herbal or white teas? So it's just kind of like an algorithm that you go through and you just ask questions and figure out what people might like. And then also we sell them in 1 ounce increments. So it's only 6 to 8 cups at a time. So it's not a huge commitment. So they can try a few ounces of several different teas and then they can find the ones that speak to them and then they can come back and get more.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Right, that was another thought that we had too when we added the cafe here, is that, someone could go back to the wall of tea and pick something out and we can come and make them a cup. And then they can try it. And the same with the coffees, then we could do like a pour over or a French press individually. If somebody wanted to try a cup of coffee, they didn't want to buy a whole pound, make sure that they like it and then they can buy it, or they can try something different.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't even think about that. It gives you the ability to try whatever you're about to buy first. And then do you have a limit of how many you can try? Coffee's harder though, or tea's a little bit easier to make little bits, right? Coffee,
We'll
is it?
No? However many cups of coffee or tea you want to pay for, we'll make them. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's fantastic. So how do you make tea? You sell the little I don't know what they're called, steepers, the little balls that you put it in?
Sure. Yeah, we have those. Yeah, we have those. You can also make them in a French press. So a lot of times, people think French presses are just for coffee, but they also work really great for loose leaf tea as well. And then we also have disposable paper filter bags, tea bags too, for the loose leaf tea. So we've got all the options, all the accessories.
I did not know that you could use, I mean, it makes sense, obviously, now that I think about it, but using a French press for tea also, which is, I
Yeah.
swear by a French press for good coffee. I
coffee,
use
yeah.
a drip maker, but for the coffee I have from you guys, which is almost gone, by the
Yeah.
way, I only drink it on special occasions
Where
because
do you
it's
have
fully
more?
caffeinated. Yeah.
I actually show you too. Oh, this is an example too. So we have a whole line of mugs, and they have
Move to the middle.
they have the infusion baskets right in it for the loose leaf tea. So they come in assorted colors, but even things like this, they make great gifts. Do 3 or 4 cups at a time. You can get a pot like this, or mugs that have the little infusion basket right in it.
Yeah, that's great. So then on the coffee side, you sell all the stuff as well.
Yes.
French presses, which, like you said, you can use on either side. Do you sell full machines, like espresso
Yeah.
machines, or any like drips? Or that's you don't. If you're a coffee snob, you don't want a machine, right? You want a French press, correct?
Right. French press or pour over. So we have the ceramic pour overs and filters. So we have all of those gadgets, the things.
What is a pour over? I don't. People always say that every time because I get half
yeah.
calf all the time, and they always say, "Well, the decaf's going to be pour over," and I don't. Whatever. Okay, so
No, I want to go get
I thought a
something.
pour over was just like a drip. Is it not? It's a manual drip.
Yeah, it is. It's a manual drip. So our coffee roaster, he's been roasting our coffee for 25 years. So the same guy's been roasting our coffee out of Maryland. And a pour over is his choice way of drinking coffee. That's how he makes his coffee every morning. So Mish is actually bringing one here just to show everybody what a pour over is. So it's just ours are ceramic, but they come in all different kinds of materials. But you put your filter on the inside. I'll show you the inside. You put your filter on the inside and your coffee grounds on the inside, and then you just pour your hot water over the coffee grounds, and that's how you make your coffee.
Yeah, it makes total sense. It's just not an automated thing. Yeah.
Right.
It makes an amazing cup
Yeah,
of
it's
coffee
really
too.
good.
And it's great for when you're traveling.
Yeah. It extracts the flavors really well, the coffee flavors really well. So that's the way our coffee roaster has his coffee every morning. So it's
So
good.
that's how the professional
It's
does
good.
it. It's acceptable to do either way, just not a
Yeah.
mechanical machine. I guess
Well,
unless you have one of those.
That's what I use.
Yeah.
I have the mechanical machine. I don't have time, but when I have time, I'll do a French press at home. But I rarely have time.
Yeah, Sheets even now has a machine. Their coffee is garbage, but they have a machine that makes it all fresh and grinds it and presses it and all whatever they do. So yeah, don't go to Sheets. Go to One Good Woman to get your
Thank
coffee.
you.
So other than you sell gifts as well. So we have, and I was going to talk about this as we walked around a little bit, but the sound might be a little bit tough. So I want to talk a little bit more before we start walking around. So other than coffee and tea supplies, what else do you guys sell? You also have gifts, random gifts and things, right?
Yes. So
To the middle.
branded, all of our branded. This is hard because everything's backwards. So you see us turning things weird, it's all backwards. We have branded mugs, we have wine glasses, pint glasses, tumblers, travel mugs. Oh my gosh. Apparel. So we have shirts, One Good Man, One Good Woman, One Good Kid shirts, tote bags. So we have a whole line of branded items, which make great gifts for people. And then we always have a rotating inventory with apparel, jewelry, scarves. We have some men's gifts. And then we also have food. So part of what we do, and it's really, if you think of making the perfect gift basket, it's everything that would go together to make a great gift basket, because we do a lot of gift baskets. So we have a lot of prepackaged foods that we sell a ton of on their own, but also they are great for gift baskets too.
How do the gift baskets work? I feel like Bill, our mutual friend, told me about the gift baskets, and I was like, I should do this. So can people? I think he said I could just come in there and say, "Hey, I want a $20 gift basket, and you'll put together some pretty gift basket with some, say they like tea or they like coffee or they don't like any of that stuff or whatever the case is. So how do the baskets work like that?
Exactly like that. So it's 100% customizable. So some customers like to pick everything out and then just give us their whole, shopping basket full of stuff and say, make this look nice. And then others come in and say, for the holidays, if you have clients that you want to, say thank you to, or employees or anything like that, people will come in and say, I have 14 employees and I want to spend $50 on each of them. This many people like coffee, this many people like tea, this one is a wine drinker, this one is a beer drinker, and then we just customize it. And then we tell them when to pick it up and they show up and their baskets are done. So it's super easy for gifts. And not just, at the holidays, year round, birthdays, baby showers, anything. Yeah, weddings. Weddings is a big one for us too.
Yeah, that's great. And you don't have to think about it, and you're going to make it look pretty and make the person look good. For me, obviously, I'm thinking about client gifts for the most part, which is great. And it can be personalized for each person, and it's coming from local, which I always try to incorporate local stuff. Everybody gets torchbearers, sauces made in Mechanicsburg, and everything has to be local.
They're great for closings, for settlements. They make great. I'm a mortgage broker too, so I go to a lot of closings. So a lot of times when I have people that purchased homes, they get a gift from one good woman. So I find out ahead of time if they're a coffee or a tea drinker. And it's the best thing because a lot of times, it's the first day in a new house, they wake up the next morning and as long as they can unearth a coffee pot, they have fresh coffee to start their day for moving in and unpacking and painting and all that kind of stuff. So it's a great gift.
Totally. So it was the client event you had there, and you can say what realtor is, just because I'm a realtor too. I don't care. You had a client event there. How do events work when you have something there? Do you like clear out a space? Is it closed to the public? How does that work?
Well, this one was really cool. So it was actually the Glenn Group, Twyla Glenn had it, and they do a lot of client appreciation events. And this year it was right after Valentine's Day, and they did a Love You Latte event. So they invited all of their clients, current and past clients, to come in, and they treated them to a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, bakery item. So they started it before we opened up. So their event went from 8 till 11. We open at 10. So there was just a little bit of overlap in there, but we can accommodate anything like that. If you wanted to do it in the morning before we open up for business, that way it's a little bit more intimate that way. You can spend more time just with whoever you're hosting. But yeah, it was great. And it was a great space for it. And like you said before, with COVID and, making sure everybody's spaced out, it was perfect for it.
Yeah. And there's no cost for the time. It's just, give you some business, buy some stuff at the store, and you can have the space for a couple hours and entertain. And do you, during that time, you get a barista? Is that what they're called?
So we all make the cafe drinks. So right now we're not offering, fancy espressos or, cappuccinos or lattes. And we did that on purpose to start because we want our coffee to stand alone. So the flavor we have flavored coffees, we have unflavored coffees. So we don't want to disguise that in any way, shape, or form. So we're purists here. So all of us are baristas to the extent that we need to be.
Totally. I'm a black coffee drinker, so I feel you.
You're easy. That's easy.
Sometimes I'll treat myself with some cream or something, which is good, but I like it black. I like to taste the coffee, especially if it's good coffee, and it's made. Totally.
Yeah.
Do you have classes, or you ever like train people how to make coffee or tea, or workshops or anything like that?
Not yet, but that's a great idea.
I'd love to learn how to use one of those crazy machines back there, or just be able to use that thing that you held up there.
We have our anniversary event is coming up on the 27th. So we're having our coffee roaster is coming. And a lot of times when he comes here, he will show customers. He'll walk through the pour overs and he'll just really educate our customers. He's here just kind of as, people can ask a million questions about coffees, the origins, and just the best way to make coffees. So I would encourage people too, if you're available on the 27th to come, it's a great time to just kind of corner our coffee roaster and ask him everything you could possibly ever want to know about coffee.
I have a question. Maybe if you don't know, I'll come the 27th and ask him. So I've heard, or I feel like somewhere I learned that decaf, they use some chemical to take out the caffeine, but there is natural decaf where they use like salt or something else to pull it out. But it's very hard to find this natural decaf. Rutter's actually has a natural decaf that they say is that, and at there's another place that I found it. Is that true? Is that something
It is. It's true. So there are the process of decaffeination is by chemicals. And then when the beans are roasted, the chemical burns off. So there's no trace amounts of that chemical left anymore. So the other more organic way to decaffeinate coffee is the Swiss water decaffeination. But our roaster, we tried that a few years ago and it didn't sell. And our roaster does not like to do that because it totally leaches all the flavor out of the coffee. So you're left with a pretty bland tasting cup of coffee. So it is out there and we did have it, but it just was not a good seller for us. It just tasted like watered down coffee.
Yeah, no thanks. And if you're saying when you're cooking it, it's cooking off and it's not really an issue anyway.
That's right.
I'm just a hyper wellness person. And as soon as I hear it, I'm like, I got to find the natural decaf because I drink a lot of decaf because I know I'm compulsive and drink it all day. So I do a half or a 3/4 decaf with whatever, which is why I only drink your special coffee on special occasions because I'm not doctoring it or mixing it with crappy decaf. I want it pure and maybe with some cream. Yours is good with cream. I like it when it's a treat. So do you have like a man corner or something there too? Obviously you're making an effort to kind of cater to everybody and not just women, but I feel like you do have a man corner in the store, which we'll take a look at when we walk around.
I think the man corner may have gone away.
Just temporarily.
So our store, we have so many, because we have coffee and tea, we have so many customers that come back every week. So we rotate the displays on the floor constantly because we constantly want to have fresh new things for people to buy when they come in. They'll come in for their coffee or tea, but everyone just takes time and roams around. And if it's always the same, then, what's the point? So when you come in, usually 1 month to the next, or even sometimes 1 week to the next, the store sometimes looks very different. So it's always changing. Yes, it's always changing.
Yeah, it gives people a reason to come in. It's same with the subscription. It kind of gives you some recurring revenue and obviously is a good thing. Is there you mentioned scarves and maybe a few other items that are non-related to the coffee and tea. Are those local makers and creators, or where do you source that stuff?
We normally find that stuff at gift shows. We're always open to local things. We look for it. Sometimes we reach out through the Facebook small business page and say, hey, does anybody have this or that? We're looking for this and try to find things for us locally. Right now, we do have the Clear Spring candles in. They're made here in Camp Hill, and we brought those in. We carry one of the candies that we carry, Sweet Jubilee, is made in here in Mechelle.
Move to the center a little bit.
We carry jewelry several times. We've had people in here that are local that makes jewelry, and we try to look for local jewelry makers sometimes and have them in here. We have soaps that are made local. We do reach out and just try to find as much as we can. Obviously, you can't get everything that you need local. Some things we find at a gift show. And this year has been a little bit different. We did a lot of catalog ordering just because of COVID. So it was a different buying year for us, but we are reaching out. But that also made us think, let's reach out more local and invite people in here and see how we can partner with other local businesses that we can all succeed together.
Yeah. It'd be almost a good space for like a little like expo or like a show or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, that'd be awesome. So what about food? You mentioned you're doing mostly pour overs and presses and regular coffee and not even fancy drinks, but you mentioned food. So is the cafe going to turn into more food and meals and that kind of stuff?
At this point in time, we are partnering with some other local businesses to do bakery items for us. Yellowbird Cafe does some energy bars for us, muffins, some Rice Krispie candies. Normally, has done some bars for us in the past. We are in the process of stepping up our own game here. Like I said, it was a surprise to have moved and then go through COVID at the same time. So things that we had planned kind of got put on the back burner a little bit. We just wanted to get grounded. But we're actually looking into doing some of our own baked goods here in the very near future.
Like desserty baked goods, like muffins and
Yeah,
or
like
breakfasty, I guess.
breakfasty baked goods. Yep.
And like
And
cakes and
then
that kind of stuff?
no,
No cakes.
Pennsylvania
Country Bakery has
right
cakes.
up the street.
Yeah.
You both froze as soon as I said cakes. You're like, nope.
No.
I think
I
it
don't
would
see me
be.
back here baking cakes. Maybe a cupcake.
I'd love to, but
You know there are other coffee shops around, so you're already infringing on other markets. So we're all it's a not a we don't operate by scarcity mindsets in Central PA. So there's room for everybody, I believe. There's plenty of business for everybody. So let's we're at 36 minutes. Let's start walking around a little bit. You can start with whatever you want to start with, and I'll tell you if I can't hear something or whatever. But maybe just let's start with whatever's closest to you, which maybe is the bar, or the
yes. All right, so hang on. Here we go. Just tell me if you can see everything.
we can see good, but we can't hear anything. Maybe one of you hold the thing and the other one walk around in front of it and talk like a reporter and a camera person. Yeah. Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, perfect. So this is the cafe that we put in. Our cafe area has several coffee makers and the French presses and pour overs.
Just try to keep her in the center frame
We
and the
also have
sound stays
tea
good.
and iced tea as well that we serve. That's about it on the cafe.
Yep.
Nice. And then we can see back there the wall of tea. And I remember being in there and being overwhelmed by it and thinking, wow, this is a lot. And just wanting to smell everything. Do you get a lot of smellers? Are you allowed to touch that stuff? What's the policy with that right now?
So the policy is no. Because of COVID, we actually have taken some steps where we roped off. Back behind me also you can see like tea and books kind of go as a cozy theme together. So we do sell an amazing amount of books. But what we have done because of COVID is we actually roped off the area to walk back to the tea wall as well as around our coffee too, because we can't have people just touching the jars. We just want everybody to be safe and, the rules. So we had to make some adjustments. But I think they're working out okay. It is very sensory and it does take away that being able to sniff the tea, but we have to do what we can do right now.
And you can get a sample if you want right over there. Just say, make me a sample of this and
once
this.
Once you're going to buy it, if you want to smell it, that's fine. Out of your own bag.
And do most people make blends or do they do like one kind?
So we actually have a bunch of different blends that are created, as you can see. Like we have, if you want to show the wall there, we have, like Michelle had said earlier, over 150 loose leaf teas.
It's Tea World.
It's Tea World.
It is.
Like we have, black teas, black flavored teas, black blends, the same with green and white. We have blends. So there's like a whole tea menu. Actually, we created a tea menu since the walls kind of roped off here so that people could read better. And we just hand them a menu that they can read off of. And again, we help guide people for whatever they would like to try as well.
Yeah, that's great. And I would assume that for my tea drinking, I'm not a experienced tea drinker, but a little bit. I know the difference between I want a non-caffeinated one if I'm trying to have something at bedtime or like after dinner or something. So that's a big differentiator. Is there an easy way to tell which ones have caffeine and don't?
So we have like the setup of our tea wall is actually we kind of have it set up like black. It goes like black flavored, oolongs, greens, whites, and then herbal teas. So all herbal teas are naturally decaffeinated. All the herbal teas that we classify as herbal are naturally decaffeinated. And we keep those all together. And then on that same wall, we also have black teas and green teas that are decaffeinated through a process, similar to the coffee. So those are all on that wall too. So we say, if you say, oh, I want something that is going to help me sleep at night. So we say, okay, let's go this way then, and then that way we can kind of gear people to look at things in that section of the wall.
Awesome. Nice. All right, let's keep going. And the wall just keeps going. You kept panning and it kept
We
going.
weren't joking. We weren't joking about Tea World. It's huge. I think it's the biggest selection of loose tea in the area. So
It'd be kind of fun just to start in the upper left-hand corner and just do every single one.
Yeah, just try it.
That was as a customer prior to buying the store. One of my favorite things to do was to come to One Good Woman for tea, and I would get like an ounce or 2 ounce packages of like maybe 5 or 6 different kinds, because then I could try a bunch of them, and then if I really liked one, I'd go back and get that one, or I would go and get some more, like 5 more to try. So there was always something new, to try because there were so many.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like a hobby. It's not just drinking something. It's just like craft beers and then making your own blends. It could definitely be a hobby. I know it's a hobby for my mom. The amount of she only drinks one kind of plain boring tea, but she's definitely a tea hobbyist. Yeah, so what's this?
Not just a drink, it's an experience.
Just get her in the middle.
This is our gourmet food items. Like over in this section, we have all kinds of things. We have snacks, we have soups, we have, pasta sauces, everything you need. If you are a foodie and like to just try new things, we have a selection for that. But they're also great to build your gift baskets with: a dinner basket, a breakfast basket, a comfort basket, putting these things together, a sweets basket. So we have a lot of different items to choose from. We have some cocktail mixers. One of our best sellers. We have like blue cheese olives and Bloody Mary olives and rum cherries and things like that, different cocktail mixes, dips for your parties and things like that. We'll be getting back into some of that stuff by summer, picnicking and partying and gathering. So, we have lots of things for that here at One.
And a lot of that stuff's great for gift baskets, like you said, because it's non-perishable. It's stuff that can go in a gift basket and last a little while. That's great. And it's better than that garbage that people put in gift baskets that I seem to always get. That's from like TJ Maxx that kind of like looks fancy. It's in that section of TJ Maxx that looks fancy, but then you taste it and it's complete garbage. And there's a reason it was at TJ Maxx.
Yeah. Is another thing that we had to kind of change because of COVID. We had a refill program with our Ariston olive oils. It's a really good olive oil. And it was something that you could come and then you bring it back, and we had a refill program at a discount. Due to COVID, we can't take the bottles back.
Just move her to the center.
And so we are giving out a new bottle like each time you come. But I mean, this is something that a lot of people just keep coming back and back because they love the olive oil. We also have the balsamic and flavored balsamic vinegars, flavored olive oils. We have like a butter flavored olive oil, a truffle flavored, bread, all different types of flavored balsamics and olive oil, which are really, really good.
Oh man, I'll be in there when tomato season comes around. I'm sliced tomatoes, olive oil, and vinegar is my jam, and that you just made my mouth water. I can't wait for tomatoes to come.
This is some of the little just like personal care area that we have. We usually have some scented hand soaps, and we have some candles. Again, these are the
Oh, there we go.
clear candles that we have in right now, and these are locally made in Camp Hill. And actually, the 20th. On the 20th is a spring fling in Camp Hill. It's like stroll, sip, shop, and you walk around Camp Hill to all the different businesses. People have specials or things like that day. And he will be here representing his candles that day. If anybody wants to stop by and see him. We have some local soaps here. Can't see. Actually, one of our employees makes these soaps, and she has a business on the side. And then here we have some things for Mother's Day. We have scarves, and they make a nice gift, or for yourself, whatever. Maybe not for you.
That's okay.
And then we always have, like, we're not a clothing store, but we always have a touch of just something kind of like one size, something for everybody here in the store. So we do have a few items here for summer that we're getting ready, like some wraps and pullovers. We have some linen. We work with a linen company, and we have some really nice linen stuff for summer over here. Ponchos. And then we have some purses up in the front as well. So we have a little bit of everything. Woman. So we have some purses up front here, and we do actually sell a lot of purses. Those up themselves, or as a gift.
Yeah, it's great, and it's always changing, like you said, so people can always come in and see what's new, and probably not going to have the same purse as 50 other people if the purses are always changing and you're always changing goods. It's a good bet that not everybody's going to have what you have.
So here we just came around. We have a little display set up like for a display for like Mother's Day. Mother's Day is one of our busiest, holidays. We kind of missed it last year because we had to be closed because of COVID over Mother's Day. So we're thinking this year is going to be a big Mother's Day for us. We are a great place to stop and grab something for mom. And sometimes dads need a little help, and our staff is trained to help dads pick things out for mom. So we're glad to assist any dads out there who need some help getting something together.
Just come in and ask for a basket and tell them a few things about your wife or significant other or husband or whatever the case may be.
Yep, we have plenty of things. We have some jewelry here.
Nice. Maybe head over. Also give us a shot of like the front door of the whole space so that people can get an idea of the scale of it. Because anybody that remembers the old place, as soon as you walk in this front door, you're overwhelmed with the size and the wall of tea back there that you want to go through. So you can see the size of it. So how do events work? Do you move some of that stuff out in the middle, or does it stay there, or how does that work?
It depends on what the event is. We can slide things over. I mean, we have had events here that were after hours. We did host one event for, what is it, I forget what it is. World Surgical. I was thinking World Cure, but I knew that wasn't right. World Surgical Foundation. We did have that. We did that after hours, and we moved things out of the way because they had a fair amount of people here, and it was something that they were bringing food to and things, so that we did keep things out of the way for that. But most of the time, we do it within our space, but we'll accommodate whatever we need to.
Yeah, it's a great space. Huge, open. Got the bar there and everything. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, the coffee, obviously. Show us the coffee before we go do our funny question before we close out. We got to see the coffee.
Okay, so this is our coffee table right here. These are our beans that we have. Our roaster every week and delivers them. The roaster roasts our coffee fresh every week and delivers them. We have flavored coffees and non-flavored coffees. We have beans from all around the world, all best quality Arabica beans and fresh roasted.
What's the roaster's name? You've mentioned him a bunch of times. I don't know if you said his name.
David Key.
And
He's
he's
our
here,
man.
here or close or somewhere far away or.
So he has his facility that he roasts in set up in Baltimore. So he just drives the stuff up to us, and he's been, as Michelle said, roasting the coffee for this business for 25 years. He's been, he started out with the previous owner, and has been with her since she started the business.
That's awesome.
So
and he supplies other people too, obviously.
he doesn't supply a lot of other people. He has his own cafes, and he supplies his own cafes.
So
Down
he's
in
like
Baltimore.
a micro roaster.
Yeah, so it's all small batch roasting,
That's
so
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, it's more craft. It's more, yeah, I didn't know that. I
Right.
realized that. So he just
Yeah.
makes it for his own use, and then you're the only other store that gets it?
Yeah.
That's sweet. Until he opens, he can't open a store here or a cafe here. That's not allowed,
He
right?
won't do that.
Of course. Well, that's awesome. Is there anything else particularly you want to highlight before we go sit down and finish out with our funny question?
This is our wall of branded glassware behind me. This is really hard to do. It's like to get.
You talk all.
We have one good mom mugs for Mother's Day. So we have diner mugs, we have the tall latte mugs, stemless wine glasses, pint glasses. We have a whole big wall of stuff.
Anything you need for drinking out of, any drink out of
Yes.
utensil, beer, coffee.
Yes.
I mean, you could use a mug for anything, right? And you have pint glasses too.
Shoot
Also,
that basket.
Yeah.
we can't hear you if you're saying something.
Okay. No, we weren't saying anything. That was just,
nice.
We weren't.
No,
saying
that's a good
anything.
example
That
of a
was just-
basket.
yeah, it was an example of a basket.
Yeah, and they
Okay,
could be
we'll-
any sizes.
We'll get ready for a funny question now.
All right. This is my favorite part. Not my
Okay.
favorite part, but my favorite part is hopefully getting you guys a bunch of business. But my second favorite part is this. So I just Google funny questions, and there are 81 of them on this list. So one of you pick a number between 1 and like 75, and then I'll read 3, and you can pick which one you want to answer. So pick a number between 1 and 75. What was it? 2.
2.
Oh, going low with it. I think the last person went with 1. So here's number 2. Is cereal soup? The next one is, how many chickens would it take to kill an elephant? That's my personal favorite question. What sport would be the funniest to add a mandatory amount of alcohol to? So I'll read them one more time. Is cereal soup? How many chickens would it take to kill an elephant? Or what sport would be the funniest to add a mandatory amount of alcohol to? And maybe we'll go Mechelle first, and remember to go to the center of the screen for your answer.
I don't know.
How many chickens would it take to kill an elephant?
It depends how many times they pecked them.
Well, I'll tell you my answer, which I think I say every episode. I think it would take 1,000 or so. You're going to need as much weight. You're going to need enough weight of chickens to outweigh the elephant, because they're never going to be able to peck through that, and him running around and peck through it. So you're going to need like a whole ton of chickens, literally tons of chickens, to outweigh the elephant.
I don't know.
Michelle, which one do you want to answer?
Okay, I want the alcohol question.
Okay.
And I think we, in my household, we're a hockey family. So I think hockey, because that would be hilarious. I am not a skater. I can't ice skate. So for me, I don't need a mandatory amount of alcohol to go flying across the ice. I just do it. But I think it would be great for hockey.
It would be. Actually, do you have you ever seen Letterkenny, the show? Nobody's ever seen
Yeah.
it.
No,
Yeah?
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
All about hockey, and they actually in one of the seasons, the two dudes that are the hockey dudes, they join a league. I think it's Brews and Bros, and the whole point of it was they didn't take hockey seriously. They just drank beforehand and got drunk and then played hockey.
See?
It's fantastic. I can't believe you've seen it. Nobody's ever seen it.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it's my favorite show
Yeah.
of all time now. I even asked people in Canada have never seen it. I love that thing.
Really?
Yeah. But all right, before we go out, we're at 5 minutes, so we got to end before 59 minutes. It doesn't fit on IGTV. Tell everybody how they can find you guys. Obviously, you're in Camp Hill. They can drive down Market Street and see you guys, but we'll put your information up and read it aloud so people listening later just on audio can get it.
Okay, so we're located at 1801 Market Street in Camp Hill. We are right across the street from Smithland. So, and our complex is called Neighbors and Smith. And you can't miss us. We're right down the street from Pennsylvania Bakery, and we're right at the corner. So you can't miss our location. And then online, our website, our new website is onegoodwoman.com. One is spelled out, O-N-E. And we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and on Facebook and Instagram, you can find us by searching One Good Woman Shop.
Yeah, and the new website is super clean and works really easily and is super straightforward. So if anybody heads over there, you should find anything you need. But I would encourage going in there because then you can try the teas, you can try the coffees, and their store is super awesome. And everybody's really, really nice there too. They always greet you and want to help you and want to make sure you have a good experience. So I highly, highly recommend it. And anybody that's been there, a lot of the people watching probably know you guys or know the store already and love it because like you said, there are a lot of people that go there religiously and have for a long time. So that is awesome. Let's plug your special offer here before I do our outgoing announcements.
Okay, we are extending a special offer right now, 10% off all orders of $25 or more. Use the promo code podcast, and you can use that online, or if you come into our store because you want to see it, you can also just mention podcast when you're paying your bill, and we will take 10% off of $25 or more purchase.
Awesome. So just mention the show and you can get that. And that'll also be in the email, which will go out next week and it'll be good for roughly 30 days or so. So definitely scoop that up while you can. A few announcements before we go out. The business spotlight package, if you're interested in one of those, which is Greg coming to your business, showing behind the scenes, kind of like we did here, but Greg would actually be there and maybe he would try his hand at making some coffee or something. We didn't do that this time, but if you're interested in one of those where Greg does that, and then you do an interview here, like you see, we did here today. And then you also get a networking mixer at your business. If you're interested in one of those, reach out to us or go to the website and apply. I can tell you that we are booked up through like September for a proper business spotlight package with all three of those things. But if you want to do an episode with me, feel free to reach out. I'm always doing episodes. If you want access to our special offers, join our email list at support.socialpa.com. It's one email a week. It's me drafting it and it's not spammy. It just tells you what's going on. And if you're watching this over on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, any of the other places, please head over to Facebook and join our group. Central PA supports small business, super active group. People are getting business out of there. There are even a few people, a lot of people that have said I had to stop posting in there because I was getting too much business. So it really, really is good. It's not a spammy group. I think we have 11,000 members or so now, and a good 9 or 10,000 of those are active every month, which is really, really good for a Facebook group. At Agent Derek on Clubhouse. If you're on Clubhouse, follow me. I'm at Agent Derek, and reminder that we have a room on there Thursdays after the episode at 1:00. Contact me if you need to buy or sell a house. Like I said, we really, really, really need houses for sale. Text me, email me, throw a rock through my window, send a carrier pigeon, whatever you need to do. Sell your house. Prices are really, really high. Remember to support Central PA's small business like One Good Woman in Camp Hill. Thanks for watching and listening. And say goodbye, Michelle and Mechelle.
Bye.
Thank you.
See you, everybody.
Thank you.